Hello, it's Sonia from The Pretty Stitch and welcome to my channel. So if this is your first time looking at my channel here, I do mostly crochet videos. I do a couple miscellaneous Monday, which is anything but crochet or knit. Sometimes I include a couple knit things, but mostly crochet. I try to, share what I've learned throughout the years. And right now I've been challenging myself with a 2020 Bust My Stash challenge. So what I mean by that is I have a ton of yarn and I'm trying to use it up. So I'm trying not to buy more yarn, which is kind of easy right now because we can't go anywhere. I guess I could order online, but that could be a crapshoot at this point. We've ordered some things and it's taken a really long time to get here. So who knows when I would get that yarn anyway. But so I'm trying to use up the yarn that I have. So each month I introduce a new bin. So I'm going to show you my progress of my April bin because we're now in May, and I will show you a May bin. So to be honest, there's not much that happened with the April bin. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you've seen the ugly pink speckled, I guess it's pink fuzzy yarn and it's got like dirt specks on it. I did find a project for that. So good news is I found a project. Bad news is I still have more. So I need to figure out what else to make with that. But I will show you that. And so let's get started. Okay, so I thought I would show you some projects that I was able to finish and some that I'm working on. And there's not very many, but I just thought I'd show them to you anyway. So first up, I have something I'm working on. It's actually a knit project, so you can see here my knitting needles. I am making a cowl project with this, and it's actually, I'm calling it my recycling. So here we go. I was trying to make I guess it was a shawl out of this ombre yarn, which is quite pretty, but I didn't like the color changes with crochet because they were too drastic, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe it doesn't, but you can just see like it's kind of like blacks and grays here. Well, they actually had like really light gray and white, so it was such a huge contrast from like black and then boom, it went to white. So I was able to make a different project, the lighter shades of this yarn, and I actually realized I really don't have a black cowl, like a neutral black gray cowl. So I'm hoping that I'll have enough because with knitting you do use a little bit less yarn with projects when you're making it. Doesn't mean it's better. I know there's the knit people that go crazy and hate crochet, or the crochet people that hate knit, and I don't want to get into that because I think they're both awesome and both great. I am just happen to be a lot better at crochet and a lot faster at it. But knitting has its place in my life. So I am making this cowl, and I think it'll be really cute once it's done. And it is my own knit pattern design. So maybe I'll make a pattern for it. I don't know. I struggle with writing knit patterns because they are a little bit different than crochet. Not a whole lot, but I guess I just feel really insecure about my knitting, so I struggle with making my own patterns because I don't want the knit people coming down on me saying that it's horrible or I didn't do it right. So I know, I've insecurities, it's silly. So yeah, this is one project that I'm working on. So I have another project that I was able to finish. So this project I did finish, and I will be making a pattern for this, a written pattern and a video for this. So this is a scarf that I made. So I've got these cute little fringe thingies on the bottom, and it's a very long scarf. And I make it long because I like really long scarves. I like to be able to wrap them around my neck a few times, and I hate it when you wrap a scarf, or like if you do it like this, and then this part is like really short. I don't know, I'm just weird that way. I like it to be like hanging down, so that's why I like to make my scarves pretty long. But this one is a really nice, the pattern, you'll be able to customize this and make this as long or short as you would like. You can make it, if you want like this part really, really wide. You can make it thinner. You can use thinner yarn. I used to use basic worsted weight and a J hook, but you could use, you know, even thicker yarn, a larger hook. You know, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can make this pattern. And it is a bit of a yarn eater, where what I mean by that is it does use up a lot of yarn. So if you have a really big skein of worsted weight and you weren't sure what to do with it, this will be a great pattern for that. You can also use different colors. So if you don't have, you know, a big skein of something, but you have a lot of, you know, colors, you could do like every row could be a different color, and you don't have to add these. You can if you want to. I just thought it needed a little something something, so I added these. These are crocheted right on, so I prefer fringe. If I'm going to make fringe, I prefer it like crocheted on. I don't like to tie it, and I don't like just thin strings of fringe. I feel like it gets messy, and it's just a personal thing, so it's my thing. I'm weird. So I prefer to crochet them on. And so yeah, I've crocheted these guys, so I will show, you know, you'll see that in the video. And hopefully that'll be coming up pretty soon for this one. And since I had so much fun with this stitch, it's kind of like a chunky, puffy, I call it like a puffy star. I don't know what it's called, but it's just a fun, like puffy, chunky stitch. So I thought I'd make a really fun hat pattern, so I made a hat. And this hat is made in rounds and rows, so it's made a little bit differently. So the band here on the bottom is made in rows using one of my favorite band techniques. It kind of looks like knitting a little bit, and it's just kind of a bit of a stretchier band, like ribbing. And then this part of the hat is made, and I thought, you know, to just keep it a little different, I added this, like, it's actually a seam, but I think it's decorative, so but yeah, then it's this chunky puffy star stitch, and then I added the little pom-pom on the top. You could also, I was thinking of adding some buttons on the front of this, but fun fact, I can't find a little needle. I have like a yarn needle, of course, but the buttons that I wanted to put on here have really tiny holes, so like little sewing needles. I don't know where they are. We moved, it'll be, I guess, about 9 months ago, so I know I have them somewhere. So I need to find my sewing needles, and so I could sew on some buttons. So yeah, some buttons I have, the yarn needle will fit through the holes, but the ones that I thought would be cute for this hat will not fit. So yeah, we're gonna keep it without the buttons for now. That's this hat, and here is my next project. This is that disgusting pink dirt flecked yarn, and my daughter, this is her American Girl doll. This is Sage, so hello Sage, you know, welcome Sage to the channel. And I went back to my roots. When I first started making patterns, I started designing for American Girl dolls, or 18-inch dolls. So this is an 18-inch doll here, and she just happens to be an American Girl doll. There are other 18-inch dolls. I think there's Canadian girl dolls, Australian girl dolls, I think there's a series called My Life. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different ones. So this little cardigan here should fit a variety of dolls. No human being would want this on their skin. It is such a yucky feeling yarn. But I thought it would make a cute, like, fuzzy cardigan. So I made this cardigan, and there's some little cables in the front, and it actually, see, she's got a lot of hair happening, but there's a hood in the back there. So yeah, so this cardigan, I have to come up with a name for it still, but I think it turned out really cute. It actually looks nice in this yarn, looks cute on the doll. And I have one more thing to show you. Here we are with another American Girl doll. This one is, I guess, Josephina or Josefina. I guess depending on the proper pronunciation, she is of Spanish origin, I guess. This was our first American Girl doll that we ever got in our family, probably 10 years ago, for my oldest daughter. And yeah, she's been well loved. I mean, her hair is pretty tragic, but she's a great little doll. This is where it all started with my designing here. So I made another cardigan. It's the same one, except in this peachy orange yarn. This is Caron Simply Soft yarn. I think it turned out really cute. So yeah, I'm working on a pattern for this. And I did change this one up a little bit from the pink one was the first one. So I added, there's a cable in the back here. And then I added an extra cable on the hood there as well. For all you 18-inch doll lovers and you want to dress your doll, here you go. I started designing again, as I said before, making 18-inch doll clothes because my daughter got this doll for, I think, Christmas, and it came with one outfit. And of course, she wanted more outfits for her doll. And we looked to see how much the clothing was, and holy cow, very expensive. More than I would spend for clothing on myself. So I'm like, no, sorry, honey bunny, it's not gonna happen. But she said, Mommy, you can make doll clothes. You can crochet doll clothes. So she had great faith in me, and she's told me to try it. So I thought, you know what, I give it a shot. So that's how it all started. I believe she's more of an original one, so the bodies of the doll were a little bit thicker. So this sweater looks a little bit smaller than the pink one, but it's just because of the doll sizes. The Sage doll is a much newer doll. It was for my youngest daughter, who is, my oldest daughter is 18, my youngest one is 13. So this one's 10 years old. Sage is probably, I think she's about 4 years old. So the doll bodies are a little bit different than the older ones. So just a fun fact. So this sweater, a pattern will be coming out. I need to come up with a name for it. So yeah, it's been fun. So I'll probably make some more doll clothes, and this will probably be gifted to one of my nieces. I have lots and lots of little nieces. So yeah, they'll be getting some new doll clothes. So here is the April bin. Not much progress happened here. I still need to finish this cowl. And I did find some knitting needles, which was exciting because I was wondering what happened to this size. So actually, that was a happy find. I guess this got chucked in here when we moved, and you know how it is at like the last minute scramble, and you just start like throwing things in boxes and bins, and I think they got thrown in there. So I still need to figure out what to do, as there's just so much yarn and not enough hours in the day. So, but I did want to show you my progress. I was able to use, I think out of this bin, I found that disgusting pinky, you know, fuzzy yarn that I love so much. And I did make something of that, so you would have seen that in the projects section. So yeah, here is the progress of the April, and I'm just going to keep plowing ahead and try to work through this yarn. Okay, so now we are into May. So this is the May yarn bin. So here it is in all its glory. We've got some interesting stuff. We've got this stuff. I really dislike this kind of yarn. Fancy Fur. I believe this was gifted to me. Thank you so much, whoever gave that to me. We'll have to figure out what to do with this stuff. But yeah, we've got this stuff going on. This was an abandoned project. I think it was a blanket and I wasn't liking it. But I'm actually really excited because I have something in mind for the screen. I want to make a sweater, and I'm mixing a bunch of different yarns together. And I had some of this, and I was kind of like gonna play yarn chicken, but I think now that I found this, I will have enough. So this is an exciting find here. Here is another, I think this was just a swatch of Tunisian. I'm not sure. I was playing around with, looks like Tunisian and cross stitch on top, which I'm not a real fan of that. I tried cross stitching years ago, and I don't know, it's not for me. There are some beautiful cross stitchers out there. They, you know, do some amazing work, but that's just not my craft. So we have some very old, what is this stuff? Red Heart Puff. This is probably something from the 70s, maybe 1970s. And, you know, it's acrylic, so it's still, you know, going strong here. So we'll figure something out for that. Another abandoned project. I think I was making some kind of blanket, and I actually didn't, I think I ran out. So I'll just take this apart and reuse it for something else. I do that a lot. It's my recycling. Let's see, any other goodness. Oh, here's another abandoned project that will need to find a new life there. Oh, we've got some thread here. This thread, I remember I used this to make a shawl for I Like Crochet digital magazine, and this is what was left. Really pretty thread, actually. So I keep saying I'm gonna have a thread project, and I am working on one, so hopefully project will be done soon and then I can get it up, and I'll make some more thread projects because I really do like thread. I go in stages where I do a lot of projects in thread, and then I kind of get bored, and then I need to do something else. Kind of you know, scattered that way. But yeah, so here we go. Here is the May yarn bin, and we'll see what we can do with this. I have lots of yarn from my other bins too, so I'll be combining as we go, and hopefully I'll be a little bit more productive this month. This whole pandemic, you know, it's got everybody down. Unfortunately, we've been healthy, and I just can't even imagine what people are going through that are sick. My heart goes out to them. So I really have no room to complain. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I thank you so much for watching.
Today is another update video. Hello, it's Sonia from The Pretty Stitch, and welcome to my channel. Today is another update video. I will be updating